what a joy that we have, I miss one of my respected mentors, Dr. Atayero is right here with us. I also want to appreciate the collaboration we are having with University of Regina, thanks to Dr. Falabi Taiwo, who's already here with us. He's giving us a final word. We heard a lot from him at episode 1 about 5 weeks ago. And usually, this is the program I'm running with. I'll just give these few welcome remarks and then hand over to my team member to introduce our facilitator who will present, and then we'll take Q&A. Then we'll go on to show certificates of those who met the requirement, and then take closing remark from Professor Taiwo Falabi, and then we take some announcements. We are good to go. So it's a loaded day, which maximize our time as much as we can. Yeah, to start with, we normally ask those who are joining us now to use the chat box. Whether you are here on Zoom or you are joining us on YouTube channel, please, usually we want to know who are with us. So write your name, affiliation, and your main area of research and why you are joining us on the chat. Also, this is a way that we can begin to collaborate among ourselves. So let's get that done as quickly as possible using the chat button. Okay. Today is loaded. I don't want to waste time. I have known why we do mentorship. We're able to enjoy speed and learn from others. So in case you miss any of the episodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, please, I kindly request to watch them again on YouTube. Go to DIaDeRC YouTube channel. So you just click live to take you to all previous episodes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So please, it's to help you to know where we're coming from and benefit from the rich discussion that we have had from our erudite scholars so far. Okay, and then, so we are moving now to the next. I will talk about this one. We announced that we now have a Nobel laureate on our part of our admin DIaDeRC meeting, advisory board members. So this is one of the typical reasons why we enjoy the gains from mentorship. Okay, so we move on again by goal setting. So if you are joining us maybe the first time on YouTube, it's good to have your goals. First short-term goal in the next 12 months, medium-term goal 3 to 5 years, and the long-term goal 8 to 10 years. So it will help you to stay focused and then calculate your mileage that's as you progress. Okay, we have had all of these episodes 2, 3, 4. Here are we now at episode 5. So we'll be welcoming the speaker for today as he gives us insight to learn from his word of experience. Yeah, there are so many things about uniqueness of this episode, SME 4.0. I won't take time on that. We have already posted one we have seen a greater inclusivity in terms of female participation that has reached up to 44%, which I shared with DIaDeRC. There was alumni conference last week, and it was well appreciated. Okay, so this is what we have seen before. And in terms of also coverage, this is one episode, this is the series that we're having so much in terms of coverage, people from 24 different countries across almost every part of the continent, the world, from Asia, from Europe, from US, Canada, and also from most countries in Africa. So which is also why we have this platform can encourage ourselves to collaborate among ourselves. We'll take time on this. I've said that several times. So I encourage us to go through our video. All this one we shared. Yeah, today is the final call on as premium. We end it by end of the month, 30th of November to be precise. So in case you are still contemplating, we encourage you to do that before that time. I don't have to close it. And I have some good news to share right away from usually when you subscribe, we give you this badge, which you have and the onboarding will be done shortly. I'll just take us through it shortly. Yes, thanks a lot to everyone that few of us attended the IPA Covenant Impact Evaluation, which I serve as one of the facilitators, and thankfully it's one of the MOU that I facilitated between Covenant and IPA. And one thing that is unique about this event is that when I did a kind of a rough checking, more than 90% of those who came from outside Covenant University are from ASMN platform. So you have this ASMN, this ASMN, this ASMN, these guys are ASMN, ASMN, these are particular ASMN. So it shows that actually we are making a huge progress in terms of collaboration network. So, and those that came were actually grateful that they were there. So it's a very thing to report that ASMN is becoming very becoming useful in terms of collaboration and networking, because most of the events, people who came, more than 90% of those who came from outside Puma University are from our platform. So it shows how our platform is becoming very useful in terms of collaboration. Yeah, this is another fun call in terms of exercises. We have exercise 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are the numbers. 84, I've covered it. For exercise 1, exercise 2, 84 as well, then exercise 3, 69, and exercise 4, 6. Due to some requests that we have been receiving, we align it. We will keep it still open till end of the month, so it will end the same time with our speaker membership. So this is the good news. Before I now hand over to Mr. Tat to introduce the speaker. So basically, the good news is that those who have completed their exercises and have already subscribed to a SME Premium membership will get their certificate issued today. It will be called out at the end, towards the end of the program. That's number one. Number two, due to some requests, we had a meeting with my team members to look at how we can navigate it. So what who are these numbers and analysis? Exercise, we enjoy good for, so they don't need to pay, they just need to complete exercises, and then they will have a certificate issued as well. That's good number two. There are good number three is that two subscription will end this November, and also keep the exercise opened. And this is to allow us time to do the profiling and our website, and we plan to have the onboarding meeting, like welcome meeting between 19th and 22nd December. We will communicate the exact dates to those who are already subscribed. So these are some of the good news we are sharing today. Thanks to my team members who made such. Oh, okay. I think this is the network. What? Can you hear me now? It's back. Okay. So this was the flags, but I think let me know. Okay. Well, before the we mentioned this call for paper, and the deadline is 7th December by one of our team members, Dr. Hassan Karakara. So let's send the abstract if you're interested on this topic before 7th December. And we also encourage a collaboration among our team members. The second one, I will share this soon. They're all our website. And like I will share, I will come back to this to the end. If you want to get updates on our website, just go to events, also to news, you get all the news ready. Okay, so not talking too much so that we can hear from our guys. So I want to quickly introduce the speaker for today. Mr. X, please, over to you. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you very much, Prof. The facilitator for today is Professor Aderemi Aaron-Anthony Atayero, a distinguished professor, a distinguished engineer and academic leader, best known for his tenure as the fourth substantive Vice-Chancellor of Covenant University. He is a graduate of Moscow State Technical University of Civil Aviation, Russia. Professor Atayero holds a PhD in satellite communication systems and is a senior research fellow of the International Association of Research Scholars and Administrator. He is also a fellow of the Science Association of Nigeria. Professor Atayero has made significant contribution to research on smart cities and IoT-enabled communities, positioning him as a leader in advancing Nigeria's global academic relevance. He also served as the pioneer Vice-Chancellor of British Canadian University, Obudu, Cross River State, Nigeria. In this episode, Professor Atayero will share insights on how you can use your experience to build a vibrant network for career progress while drawing from his rich experience working across different continents. Ladies and gentlemen, my former boss and my current boss, Professor Aderemi Atayero. Prof, sir, you're welcome on board.
Thank you very much, Mr. Atat, for that wonderful introduction. Let me start by appreciating the founding professor of this body for the privilege to share some thoughts with you today. And quickly, I want to mention that in preparation for this talk, I went through your previous editions, and something comes to mind very glaringly is that you have covered quite a lot of ground. When it comes to grantsmanship, I'll make a particular note of the introductory one by the co-host, Dr. Taiwo Afolabi. A lot of nuggets have been shared, and I was just thinking, this being the final edition, where can I contribute, like filling something I see as a void that has not been addressed. And it has not been addressed not because the participants were not well prepared or heralded. It has not been addressed because they couldn't come from the base I want to come today. That is why I'll be focusing more on what it will take for you to manage those grants properly after you've won them. Another thing I want to note from that very first edition of this series is a comment by both the founding professor and his co-host on the need for a change in the mindset of new academics from that of scarcity to abundance. And with that abundance mindset, when you now get this grant, how do you manage it? What are the human qualities required for you to be able to deliver it successfully? Because like they said, and I totally agree with them, it's better not to receive the grant than to take the grant and not deliver on it. So what I'm about to share today is actually the result of some musings that I had immediately after my tenure as the fourth substantive Vice-Chancellor of Covenant University and the fifth Vice-Chancellor by my successor. He asked me to make a presentation then. What he came up with is that he noticed, looking at my research profile, maybe on Scopus or Cyber, that I actually published a lot during my tenure, 2016 to 2020 as the Vice-Chancellor of Covenant University. So it was like, how were you able to do that? How were you able to balance the administration of a world-class university, a very vibrant one, and your research endeavors? So I sat down and I did some thinking, and this was what I came up with. That's what I want to share with you now. Why you will be able, when you get to the end of this progression we're talking about, and maybe you become, I'm sure, one or two people listening to me right now may be privileged to later hold such an exalted office as the Vice-Chancellor, which is the Chief Executive of academic research institution. Emphasis on research. So what I'll be sharing with you today is what I came up with then, and I titled it Care Leadership. And I would just want to go through some slides on that care leadership, what it takes to be a care leader, and how you can use it at various levels of leadership you will find yourself, because leadership comes in various levels. Just like an input into what I consider the most important thing for today will be the AMA that we have at the end, so that you can ask me questions, just an inroad into asking those questions. I'll start with the first slide, which Professor Evans displayed over and over again. I believe it's in the work they're currently doing with his collaborator, I think Dr. Kara. Please pardon me if I pronounce it wrong. Prof, can you please go to that slide?
I think you can just share yourself. Should I share?
Oh, I thought you, when you asked me to stop sharing, so I thought you wanted to share.
No,
okay.
no, just say so you can be in control.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah.
So this is, can you see my slide now?
Yes.
Yeah, this one that he titled Foundation Number 1, Mentorship Nurture Cycle. I believe it's a very good model. I couldn't agree more on the parts shown there. So I'll try to tie them to what I'm presenting today. The fact that honesty and integrity is a foundation. Without it, you don't make any progress in our field as academics. And if you make some progress, it will be shown later that they had not made progress. Mentee as captain and mentor as co-pilot. That's another thing. From my mindset of where I was trained, when I got back to Nigeria in 2000, and I had a very drastic change in mindset when seeing the way the young researchers are trained in Nigeria. They are like glorified, not for all professors, of course, but for most of the whole professors there. They're like glorified houseboys and things like that, which is totally in contrast to the way I was trained. I remember then, if I wanted to discuss anything on my PhD thesis, all I have to do is give a phone call to my professor. I'm not even talking about office hours now. By the time I get to his house, the tea is brewing and we're discussing what I want to do, which was my own approach later too. So you put your mentee forward and you give them all the support you can. Frequent evaluations for progress. I will show that when I'm talking on the slide on delegation, how you need to delegate. And all this will eventually lead to the success of the partnership, because it is essentially a partnership between the mentor and the mentee. So I give myself some poetic license. I'm sure Prof will allow that, Prof Evans, by a little bit changing the topic to what I call the care leadership experience sharing for career progression. This will be the agenda. Who is a leader generally, and who is an academic leader. Then I will try to run you through what I consider to be the traits of a care leader, the necessary skills that will make you an effective care leader, and what that care leadership entails, in my opinion. So essentially, when you are a leader, it makes no difference, is it in the industry or in academia. When you are a leader, you're essentially an influencer. You must be able to influence. You must be able to inspire. A leader essentially is somebody we can bring forth the innate talents and capabilities of his followers. I consider the man you're looking at as one of the greatest leaders of our time that actually caused a dent in the universe, one of his popular phrases. There's something like management is about persuading people to do things they don't want to do, but leadership is about inspiring them to do things they did not even know they can do. Very, very important. I'll give a joke, a very small joke. I don't know if Prof Evans remembers the meeting we had in my office. I think it was on a Friday, around 2016, 2017, when I invited the young professor. You weren't a professor then yet, but we needed we needed a very vibrant researcher to head his department, because we were moving away. One of my mandates then as Vice-Chancellor was to move away from predominantly teaching institution to a research institution. So it didn't matter to me if they're whole professors or not. What is their research profile? And age is not an issue here. It's your research profile that will speak for you. And I remember calling the young doctor to my office and saying, this is what we want you to do for us. And the good researcher that he is, he said, you remember you declined?
Yes, I did.
He declined. He said, no, my VC, with all due respect, the discussion went in that format that I have this grant I'm working on and this and that, I will not be able to say, just go, take the weekend, think about it, and let's talk later. Came back on Monday, say, okay, being a very spiritual person, I'm sure you must have consulted the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit. So what am I speaking to here is that he wasn't thinking about it, wasn't thinking he was going to do it, and arguably has stand to be corrected. I don't think we've had a better head of departments in that department up till today. And the fact that we're sitting in this meeting right now is one of the proofs of that. So essentially, as a leader, you must be able to inspire those coming behind you. Make them do things they don't even know they can do. So when you're talking about academic leadership, it's nothing just leadership in the academic setting, nothing else, to fulfill the vision and the mission of the institution based on some maybe scientific data or the rest of them, following the vision and the mission as given to you by maybe the board of the institution to run with. And a good example will be, if you see my backdrop, we had a vision when I was VC then in those 4 years. That was even the second leg of the vision already, because we started it while I was still the Deputy Vice-Chancellor in charge of academics. That was between 2012 and 2014, thereabout. We had this vision of making Covenant University become one of the top 10 universities in the world. An audacious vision. I mean, who does that? West Africa, not even first generation universities, right? I'm seeing somebody's photo here, not Prof's. Can you still hear me? Can I have a feedback?
Yes, we can hear you, Prof. Yes.
Okay. So with such an audacious vision, it became evident that we have to do things drastically. We have to change a lot of things. And the vision was given. Again, I'm repeating, what I'm sharing is what we may need to do at the end of this progression we're talking about when you become the head of such an institution. What are the qualities, what are the traits that will be required of you to have success at the end of the day? And I dare say that we made significant progress during that time in changing the landscape of the institution. Okay, so in my own understanding, care leadership is all about engaging emotional intelligence effectively in your role as a leader. It's not about the bottom line. Leave the bottom line. The bottom line will take care of itself. I think it was Richard Branson that said, I'm not sure now, that take care of the employee, the business will take care of itself. If you take care of the employee, the business will take care of itself. It is leadership that seeks to achieve organizational vision, mission, and goals by being sensitive to the emotional well-being of the followers. This is not what you will find in the corporate world. It's dog eat dog. Pull people down to get up and things like that. You are the professor, you are the boss. Your proteges, the professor is coming, they're all running behind him, carrying bags, carrying things and stuff like that. No, that is not care leadership. Care leadership puts the mentee forward and make sure the mentee has everything it needs to do what it needs to do. You stand in the background and you're providing all the support that you can. Okay? So it's about taking care of the emotional needs of your constituency. So I brought out this care leadership from as an acronym from the things you need to do. It all borders on authenticity. Be real. Be yourself as a leader, because that's the best you can be. That's the only original. Try to be somebody else, you'll just be a second place. So just be yourself. With your pluses and your minuses, know yourself. If you know yourself, you know how to turn your minuses into pluses, because everybody has them. So you need first things to know yourself. You care actively for your constituency, and you go the extra mile to show it. Care about what concerns them. Care about your family. Care about their support system. It may be tough, but I'll give an example of a very good mentor of mine. I joined Covenant University as a fresh postdoc in 2002, and somebody mentored me. That person is Professor Osabuohien. She mentored me, not even directly, indirectly, just by looking at her. She made me feel so special. I thought that was just her relationship with me. You hear some people, because she was very strict to some people, so you hear some people say things like, I would say, no, not Obudu that I know, until she passed, of blessed memory now. And people were sharing testimony at the wake keep. That was when I know that that was the same way she was with a lot of people. She made every single person feel important. You care about your family. I remember then my wife would come visiting, and she'll give her maybe a small gift, like all these Russian dolls. And you say, "How's madam? The Russian doll is still on my table in Landmark University," and things like that. She made everybody feel important. So you must go the extra mile to know what concerns them. You act naturally. Be your natural self. Fake emotions will be, people just feel it. If you're natural, it's just in a horror, people will feel it. So don't do it with something at the back of your mind as something you want to receive. Just do it because you want to do it, because that's what is required of a leader. You relate sincerely, okay? You empathize genuinely, okay? You try to find out where the shoe is hurting, and you remember that there was a time you were there in that position. I'll share one very funny experience now. In the privileged office of the Vice-Chancellor of Covenant University, I had sworn my file, my personal file, and I was reading through. And I saw the type of responses I gave to queries I received from the Vice-Chancellor of the university in the Nigerian context. I make emphasis on that, in the Nigerian context. And the way I responded to those queries, now with the privilege of experience, I was saying, wow, that woman really loved me. Because for me to have responded that, it's not as if I was disrespectful, but I was audacious in my response, maybe because of my training. And I remember one of such queries, what she said, my decision stays the same. It was as short as that. It was as short as that. Okay, so you empathize genuinely. You remember you were once in that position that they are in now. And whatever they are going through, you will be able to relate with. So what is care leadership again? It's convivial. That it is it's easy to entreat, so to say. You are very approachable because you are jovial, you are happy. Look at the adjectives here. It's not very often you see these adjectives to describe a leader. You're mirthful, you're merry, overjoyed, ecstatic, looking good, convivial, jubilant, peaceful, elated. That is, they see you, smile comes up on their face naturally, just from your presence. The other trait you will need to have. You have to be appreciative. Appreciative of their little contributions. I cannot tell you how far that can go. When somebody comes to you, he believes he's falling short of the assignment maybe, and instead of doing the right thing, which is the right thing in code, talk him down, give a query, give a warning, strike one, strike two, and two others. Okay, can we make it better next time? Thank you for this effort you've put in, but I believe we can do it a bit better. And that even feedback will not come immediately. It's after you appreciate it, maybe the person leaves. Look for another opportunity. That thing that you did, or just thinking about it, can we look at doing it this way or that way? I believe that will make your work better. Another thing is care leadership is relational on many levels. On many levels. It's about relationships. And the first relationship is with the self. It's with the self. Because our relationship with everybody around us is essentially a demonstration of our relationship with ourselves. If you don't like yourself, you cannot like those around you. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love those around you. I believe that's why one of the holy books says, love your neighbor as yourself, not more than yourself. Because trying to say, I love you more than myself, anybody tells you that, don't believe them. They, him or her, they're being funny. If you can love yourself, you will love those around you. So the most important relationship is the relationship with yourself. If you are comfortable in your skin, you won't have the fake superiority complex, which in my opinion is the highest manifestation of inferiority complex. You won't see yourself as bigger or better than anybody. You will have thoughts like these. If I was born where that person was born, I went through the educational background of that person, I'm from the family of that person, I had all the experience of that person has, I probably will behave exactly the same way that person behaved. So you have that at the back of your mind. The second relationship is between you and your fellow leaders. It has to be robust, it has to be very strong. I'll give an example here. Because you cannot predict the ripple effect of such relationships. I have one of my collaborators from Santa Clara University, and I just brought him on board of Covenant University. Maybe I say we came up with some things then that international faculty can co-supervise and things like that for a PG. But just from that relationship, and with this, there's this high-E partnership thing, that brings people, I think something in diaspora, that brings diaspora professors to African universities. So I brought him in like on 2 or 3 occasions on that. And in one of the occasions, this while I was the Vice-Chancellor the last time he came, I would have my Vice-Chancellor's office with all his paraphernalia, but I always kept my office in the research building. And my secretary is one of my postgraduate students. I believe he was from Kenya. He came with the Queen Elizabeth Scholarship. And the Prof came in on one of his visits, and he was asking, Prof, I have these grant, I want to work on this. I need a very good master's student that is doing some machine learning and stuff. And I was sitting right there in the secretary space. And that guy is now finishing his PhD in the US just from that collaboration. So your relationship with your fellow leaders should be very strong, both at the horizontal national level and at the international level. We don't engage enough, I believe, on the national and regional level, which one of the reasons I want to really applaud Professor Evans for what he's doing here. Bringing Africa together, so to say. We have a lot of things we can share together, but we're always looking west usually. And the third relationship will be with your followers, which is what this program is all about, mentor-mentee. That relationship too must be very robust. I've alluded to this. It shouldn't be a master-slave relationship. is a mentor-mentee relationship. Then the fourth one will be with the vision. I'll use the Covenant University vision again as an example, because such an audition. I remember then I'll go for international conferences as the Vice-Chancellor, and I will be bold enough to mention the vision and in discussions, maybe at tea time. And the first question you will hear, the top 10 where? They expect you to say West Africa or Africa. I say, no, in the world. And you just say with such a blank face, yes, in the world, top 10 in the world. If Princeton, Yale, and all the rest can be top 10, why can't we be top 10? And because of the visionary of the institution, it pumps it into you that you believe it was done yesterday. So you have to have a very good relationship with the vision. You must, as the recall, we're talking about you now at the end of this progression we're talking about, and somebody, the board, hands you this vision. You must be able to own the vision as if it was yours and run with it and make it happen. I remember then in those 4 years, it was like we even had songs and anthems and things like that for this vision in the university. The relationship with stakeholders is talking about the stakeholders of the institution, be it institutions you have MOU with. The government is a very important stakeholder through the regulatory bodies. You must have a very good relationship with them, a robust relationship with them. But you must not compromise on your principles in having those relationships with them. I recall during this time, we had to do a lot of things that NUC had to catch up with later. We just went and did what we wanted to do, and NUC caught up with it. I say, thank God for Covenant University, a lot of things changed in the Nigerian university system, very quietly, very quietly. One will be like the entrepreneurial development studies. Covenant had been running it for like 11 years before it became a mandatory training for the Nigerian university system. So you must have good relationship with the stakeholders, the parents, the students, and you must know, the students must know what's expected of them. The parents must know what, one of my favorite phrases then was, Covenant University is not a rehabilitation center. When you're talking about students that are not doing the right thing, no, this is not a rehabilitation center. For that, there are organs and places you can take them to. Even as you're empathizing, you get their boundaries. When somebody is doing something that is against the law of the land, you don't just, for example, rusticate that person. You hand them over to the authorities, because integrity is very, very important. Your relationship with your support network. You cannot be effective as a leader if your support network is not having a good relationship with you. I believe one of the saying is happy wife, happy life. You cannot have a good, you cannot be too effective as a leader if you don't have a good support network. So you make sure that that base is settled so you can focus on your work. Give them what they need, provide for them, and make sure you get your support from them, because you will need it to be a supporter of your mentees. You don't get support from your mentees. No, that's not your role. You have to provide support for your mentees, but you need that support too from somewhere. Okay, you don't get your support too much from the system. All the system has to do is pay you. Don't love you. You don't expect the system to love you or something like that. You just pay me so that I can settle my base and that I provide the support I need to. So I provide for my own base. Then relationship with the source. This is very important. What is your source? By source, I mean, what is the entity of divinity that you ascribe to? Are you a Christian? Would that be Jesus? Would that be God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Are you a Buddhist? Would that be Buddha? Are you a free thinker? Would that be the source as your higher self? Whatever that source is, you need spirituality, or there will be a void that you will not be able to fill. And the other thing is that the care system is exemplary. It's not a do what I say, don't do what I do thing. It's watch me and copy me. Okay, you model the way, you inspire, that cannot be repeated enough. You challenge the process if the process is not good enough. For example, there was something we used to run, we call by the books. If it's in the books, it's okay. We went by the books, but the books are not written in marble. So if you need to change the books, you change the books to perform the functions you need to perform. And one thing is you must enable the people you are demanding from, you must enable them to act. A good example of it is during my tenure as the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Academic, I noticed a couple of researchers that we gathered their resources to publish in high-impact journals. They were lecturer tools. So I had a meeting with the Vice-Chancellor then, Professor CKI of blessed memory. This cannot happen. That is for their support system. They can be using the lecturer tool salary to publish that we increase the ranking of the institution as well. That informed a policy change in the institution. That's how the Covenant University publication and conference support policy came to be, which later played a very vital role in all the rankings that Covenant University is having today. We were so confident then that it would take a while for any other Nigerian university to catch up with Covenant University because of the rate at which our people were churning out research public. So you enable them to have. You don't just demand and say, you don't throw them out there in the ocean and say, sink or swim. No, you enable them to act. And you encourage. In the periods of the dark night of the soul, every academic has it. I was looking at your previous presentations when you were getting the rejection, go back again 70 times, 7 times. Every good researcher has the stories. They are motivation stories for your mentees. You encourage them. You think this is bad communication. Come, let me show you an email. Now you show him an email, some type of wonderful communication. Like I was hearing the one that just because you didn't fulfill the Prof was sharing that, I think he said you didn't fulfill the word count. And because of that, you lose a grant. I mean, you're not even considered, not even read. I mean, so if you think you're going through a bad time, we all went through it. So you encourage your mentees. These are the traits I consider very, very important for a care leader. I call them the 5 E's. The emotional intelligence, we've talked about that. Erudition, you must be a master of your field. You must know what you're talking about. You must be almost an oracle. Though it's tough to be that these days because everybody has an oracle on his smartphone in form of AI. But there must still be things that your mentees know they have to come to you. They have to come to you, if only for your wealth of experience, the stories you have to tell and things like that. Okay. Empathy. Do as you will be done by. Feel their feelings. Okay. Expertise and enthusiasm. You must be upbeat. It does not matter. I was privileged to work outside of academia for a bit during my PhD. During my PhD training. And in that franchise, one of the things they will tell you is, it doesn't matter who died in your family. If you're coming out on your shift, you must wear a smile on your face. That speaks to enthusiasm and professionalism. You either don't come out for that shift or you come out on one of your uniform. It's your smile. They see you in that light. That somebody says, this person is more, they say, no, not my prof, not my VC, and things like that. There are other necessary skills. Communication, you do it relentlessly. You don't give room for ambiguity. It must be such that what you're communicating is understood. It cannot be translated to something else. That means you have not communicated. If you're getting not what you're expected to get as a result of that communication, that means you have not communicated. You do it relentlessly, you make sure they get it. You simplify, you make it direct. Okay, you don't try to over-impress with your erudition of the language. You look at the audience and you communicate appropriately. You listen and encourage input. That's one thing, again, that people miss in communication. You think it's all about you spewing it out. No, Very good communicators are actually very good listeners, active listeners, giving the prompts where it's necessary to guide people along. You illustrate with stories, and with experience, you have a lot of them, and you are fine with actions. Okay. Another very important skill will be that of accountability. It was mentioned before. You must be accountable. I like the way the co-host said it, that somebody came into his office and said, oh, I have to be rich. If it is how researchers live, he said, no, that's not. What you're saying here is the product of my homework, because everything I get, I account for. When you get to this end of the project, your progression we're talking about, some things will be assumed. It will be assumed that you're a good financial person, that you have all it takes to manage a budget and things like that. This you will have garnered by handling your research projects. But when it comes to the institutional thing, it's another ballgame entirely, because you'll be dealing with the state, so to say. So you need to prepare yourself for that with financial literacy. I cannot stress that enough. You don't say because I have a director of finance, you should take care of it. You can be put in trouble for that. Okay, accountability is good. You take more of the blame and less of the credit. That's a hallmark of a good leader. Why? Because you have the capacity to absorb the blame because of experience, because of age, because of whatever, than those you are mentoring. Okay. So when there is need to take one for the team, you are the one taking it because you are the leader, because the buck will stop on your table as the leader, both of an institution of either research or non-research institution, or even as a department. Okay. And you have to be humble. It takes humility to lead, because as a leader, you're still a learner. Every day we wake up, you learn. You lose, you learn. You read, you learn. You win, you learn. Everything in life should be considered as an avenue for learning, because nobody knows it fully. It has pleased the Creator not to endow anybody with 100% knowledge. That's why we do peer review. That's why we do other things we do in academia. Resilience. Life throws you a lemon, you make a lemonade. Focus on solutions, not problems. The problems will dissipate, because where you put your focus, that's where you put your power. That's where you put, anywhere you put your attention, your focus, that's where your power is. That's where you're putting energy into. And if you focus on the solution and not the problem, before you know it, it's as if the problem just goes away by itself, because your focus, your energy is not on the problem. Your energy is on the solution. And you fall down 6 times, make sure you pick something up. The falling is to pick something up. Like we said, you are influencer. As I'm not saying it like they have it in social media now, on the influencers that somebody is doing. So no, I mean, you can actually influence people, not by bling and things like that, but because of the qualities you have, the traits you have, and the things you can make happen for your mentees. The third point here, I'll go back to the second later. The third point is be vulnerable and charismatic. A lot of leaders think it's a bad thing to be vulnerable. It actually endears you to your mentees if you're vulnerable. Be quick to accept your faults. You're not trying to stand behind your opinion with an ego. You kill the ego. The logical argument that is logically consistent takes the day. That's one of the beauty of academia. We are scholars, what we call scholars, okay? Be vulnerable, be charismatic. The vulnerability will bring about your charisma, actually, and make others feel important. I just mentioned an example in the case of my mentor of blessed memory, Prof. Osabuohien. Okay, that's how you show your influence. I have to rush through this now. It's like I'm taking quite a while already. As a good care leader, you must be adept in the act of delegation. You must delegate. And that's the only way you'll be able to do everything you need to do and still have a good night's sleep. One, because you're not trying to cut corners, you have your integrity, nothing terrible is happening on your watch that is not codified. And you must be able to delegate. The delegation process is one of the strongest ways to bring up your mentees. So if something is urgent and important, you don't delegate that. That one is on your table. Okay. If it's non-urgent and important, you may delegate it, but you are sure the person you're delegating it to is somebody that you have trusted over time and have delivered. If it's urgent and non-important, you should delegate it. It's not worth your time. You can spend your time on something else, like the first one, urgent and important. If it's non-urgent and non-important, you must delegate it. That's the thing you will use to train your mentees to come up. So that's the cycle in the delegation process, okay? You choose an appropriate task, you choose the appropriate person, round peg and round hole, you set clear objectives and plan, they know what is expected of them, okay? The implementation, then you monitor. You are not macro-managing, no, you monitor. Two different things, not that we don't, no. Give them a lifespan. You can check a day before the deadline, how far they've gone if they need your help, just for feedback. You evaluate when they deliver, you review, and the cycle goes on different things. That is the only way you can manage a research institution and not lose your research focus as an academic. Or you before you know it, you just go all into administration. That's just an appointment. It will end, and you have to go back to your first love. That's a way to make sure you're not redundant when you go back to your first love. So just wrap it up by saying this care leadership thing, I believe, is a veritable approach for optimal networking towards career progression. If you fulfill all those things I say, it is almost inevitable that you have very good network of collaborators, mentors, mentees, all over the world. And if it is adopted early in your career, it can become a determining factor for career success to take you to the end of that progression we're talking about. And it is applicable at all levels of leadership. Thank you for this time. I will take your questions now.
Okay, let's clap our hands, and whether digitally or spiritually or physically or okay. Thanks so much, Prof. What a word from a respected mentor like you. So we appreciate. So we just keep the ball rolling. If you have a question that is burning your heart, you can raise your hand, and we acknowledge you. And you can also use it, use the comment section to note your comment or question. And those on YouTube Live, please indicate by using the comments, it will be read out. I already see some hands on. Yeah, Dr. Judith, your hand is up. It's like you were really eager to. Please, you have the space now, Dr. Judith, and I will take others after you.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Although I joined a bit late because of other commitments I have, but the little ones I've listened, it's so insightful and intense. So, Prof, I have this question, and I want to know the best way to respond to such a situation from the care leadership and from the last thing you talked about in leadership. Now, let me paint this scenario to be able to drive my question down. I'm going to really be very brief about it. Now, let's assume that I have a student, and the student submitted a proposal to me, and I didn't quite agree with what the student put in that proposal. And then I said to the student, don't try to act more clever than I am. Do you think you are smarter than me? Do you think you're more intelligent than I am? I've been doing research and all of that. So in that kind of scenario, sir, what is the best way to respond, not necessarily react, as much as you still want to retain that kind of relationship? Let's assume that now I am the student that this sort of thing happened to. So thank you very much. I really need to keep it very brief. I have other questions, but maybe I could put it in comment section. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Judith. Prof, I think I respond to it as it comes so that move us. Thank you, sir.
Well, I would say on the part of the mentor, that's actually not a very good communication. Don't try to be smarter than me and things like that. That can, we have to be very careful as mentors because her word can make or mar a destiny. So, well, it still depends on the context in which it was said. It was said jokingly. That's one thing. But even at that, you have to be very, very careful because as a mentor, somebody of repute, there's a reason these people come to you. I'm talking in case from the side of the mentor now. There's a reason these people come to you and they're hanging on your every word. So you have to be very, very careful of how you share with them. But as the student, how do you respond to this? You have to be genuine in your response. The first thing you want to do is make it obvious to the prof, mentor, that is the last thing at the back of your mind, to try to show yourself as better or smarter. You can even, that for me speaks to somebody maybe who has some kind of issues with his own space. So you want to make that person, this way you make everybody important, comes in now from the side of the student. You're trying to make him or her important by saying, no, if I think I'm smarter than you, then I wouldn't even be in your mentee class or something like that. But this is just how I think it should go. But if you have other opinions, I'll be very, very glad to consider them. You try to allay whatever issues, security or whatever such a mentor can have. And mentors are humans. We all have our own baggages. But that speaks to, if it's not said in a joking context, it speaks to somebody with a little bit of issue with his own security or her own security.
Okay, thanks so much. I think let's check team members if they have other comments. I think so. You can raise your hand, we'll acknowledge you, or you can now note it on the comment section, both on YouTube and here in Zoom. Just to add to what Prof said, the same thing came up at our DIaDeRC alumni conference last week in Lagos. And the point that as a mentor, you don't make your mentees to be like zombie. Okay, give them room to think. But once somebody asks me a question, I say, okay, what do you think? What do you think? Okay, they will not give their opinion. So based on the opinion, you can advise. You actually, what you do is to advise. You do take option A, B, C. This may be the likely outcome. Of course, some will take it, some may not take it. But at the end of the day, even if they fail, you will say good for you. You say, well, it's a learning process. I think last week, Adenike, who was our guest, said it, that she was about to learn, I don't know remember that story. She was to learn tailoring, but she loved fashion. And the mother took her to Lagos, bought all the machines, everything. The first one she did, she got a contract, somebody betrayed her. Second one, somebody gave her clothes, didn't pay her, but yet she was assaulted. And she came crying to the mom. The mom said, well, why not face your academics? That's where you are good at. So, but didn't tell me, say, no, if I had told you, you would have believed me. But now you have learned. So you help them to make their choice. And if they fail, but let also learn from that mistake. And so then they become more independent, they become more resilient.
It's
okay.
all
It's a learning process. Thank you, sir. Another person hand is up, Dr. Capo Victoria. Let's hear you. You have the space. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Good evening, everybody. Permit me for a few seconds to just be a fangirl. Thank you so much, Professor Atayero. Such a wonderful, insightful, and enlightening presentation. Honestly, I think you're one of the best VCs that Covenant University has ever had. I was a postgraduate student when you became VC, and I really enjoyed my time. Anyway, so there's this issue that's been bugging me, which I think is comes into play in mentorship, has a long way in it. I noticed that as a PhD student, when we have, it's a mentor relationship with your supervisor as a PhD student. And then even as a PhD student in Covenant University, I had my fair share of bus with my supervisor. It was unexpected, but it happened. And we realized that as a PhD student who wants to become a lecturer and going to lecture, you tell yourself, oh, I will be a better mentor to my own supervisors. I will be better. You understand? And then you realize that people that have passed through what you have passed through, I've been saying this for years, that will make a better system when we get there. We'll make a better system when we get there. But the system is still this way. So what happens along the way? Is it that the system gets the better of them and they are not able to make a better system along the way? And then we still keep propagating this toxic supervisor-supervisee relationship as we move forward. What is it, something that the university has to come into play to maybe train the supervisors and say you can do better at mentoring the students without, making them go through hellish situations? So this is my question. If we've been saying we'll be better, and we are still not better now, what's the way? Thank you.
I think you are better. Okay, Prof, please, for me, the angle of your, I think you see what you're not seeing.
Let me throw
Yes, sir.
the question back at are you better now yourself? Or life has happened? You say, what happened? Life happens. Or life has happened.
Yeah, Okafor, are you better now?
Oh, yes. I think I'm better for myself,
So that's the response to your question. It's an individual thing.
Yeah, yes.
It's an individual thing. If you vow you will be better, you will be better. But if you want to look for excuses, you will find a lot of them on how to perpetuate the system. Because the strongest thing to work against is inertia. Things are moving the way they are moving. You just join the flow. Or you can be the pioneer that say, no, not on my watch. Things change from here on. Okay.
Okay, I think that's what I wanted to say. It's significant. I think just to know that even this SPEC program where the DIaDeRC is actually such a vow I made when I was doing my PhD. I vowed. I think Dr. Fobi was in my office and I was one after my PhD. So I vowed to be different. Okay. I remember when I was doing my PhD proposal, my history then, it was not part of my supervisor. He said that until I make a particular correction, I will not present. I worked overnight from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. because I have to present the following day. And God helped me. He was surprised that I brought the final copy to his office the following day. He never believed I could do that. But so I told myself I will vow to be different when I get there. So this is part of that. So it's individual. Okay, let's not find to blame. Just do your best. I do my best. Before you know it, you are better off. There's one comment on Atabi reads it out on the comment. And there's another hand. Okay. Let's that comment on the column, the one that's raised YD. He said, my question is, as a young follower academician trying to build your career, how do you manage a leader who talks bad and down at younger colleagues, dehumanizing them in several occasions, even as they put in all your best for the success of the organization? As a follower, how do you handle such situations? Similar to what is which would I ask. Prof, do you have an answer to that in the comment section?
Well, I will give the life, like I said, the privilege of experience is that you have a lot of stories to tell. I remember as the DVC academic, I was in charge of promotions, vetting the papers, especially the professorial cadre. And in the businesses, somebody came to me and said, the Holy Spirit told me to approach you. That it wasn't even, said it wasn't even going to send in his application. I said, why? Do you qualify? The promotion criteria. He said, yes, I qualify, but there are gods in my department. I said, okay. If you don't apply, where will be our local standing to look at anything? Okay. And when he applied, actually, he was turned down at the departmental level. So he didn't even go to college, not to talk of come to the central administration. So when, and one of the things we drove very strongly then is to make sure that this type of relationship, mentor-mentee relationship, did not happen. We drove it seriously. So one of the conditions then, if I remember, that we put in the promotion criteria is, if you're rejecting at the departmental level, you must provide a reason within 72 hours why that is being rejected, because those are the things we now look at. But I believe that was the first time it was being done. It came to the central, and we set up another committee. That person got promoted. The HOD left the department. Why did that happen? Why did that happen? I was a senior lecturer for 7 years. 7 years. Not because I didn't have what it takes to become an associate professor, than a full professor. I submitted my application and everything, traveled to see my family. I was sure I'd come back and associate professor. Until I came back, Professor Hazy of blessed memory said, what did you do to this prof? He said, over his dead body and things like that. So what's his problem? He said, you don't have enough publications, seriously. Point being, why was I so energetic as the Deputy Vice-Chancellor in making sure we crafted a new policy for promotion and following it to the hilt? I remember then, by the time I applied for full professorship, skipping associate professor now, they were asking me, should we use accelerator? I said, your criteria says 7 years. I've done 7 years. I'm arguably the longest serving senior lecturer that university had. But I did not have the associate. Now, if you look at my CV, you will not see associate professor there. It's from senior lecturer to professor. I said, use whatever you want. I'm sure I qualify. Sometimes you need to go through these things. This ties back to the previous question, to say, no, not on my watch. And that was one of the genesis of what we used when we started saying, buy the books. Because one of the things I got then was that this vision we want to fulfill will only be fulfilled in righteousness. That's why I love what Dr. Taiwo Akulabi said when he was saying, I've forgotten how he put it, that your righteousness should take care so that those coming behind you will partake of that righteousness. It ties back to that thing. Sometimes these things, you learn from them. Imagine I didn't go through that stress. I would not have this motivation to drive the way I drove. I'll give another example. I remember Professor Evans was saying something that between, you joined in 2005?
04.
And when did you become professor?
December 2017. Yeah.
How many years was that?
13, yeah, roughly 13 years.
That could only have happened then in Covenant. Yeah. You recall that you had accelerated promotion.
Yes, double from SL to professor.
Professor. You were not expecting it, were you?
Not at all.
At all. You were not expecting it because when you guys applied, you applied for AP.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But I brought all the people from all over the world to do the assessment, the professorial assessment. And I was looking at their recommendations. Those applying from AP to P, and from AP to P, yeah, we're not outperforming you guys that were applying from senior lecturer to AP. So I asked one of them, what if I've asked you to assess this, because you're assessing for professorial cadre anyway. What if I've asked you to assess this guy and this guy? There are quite a number of you, and 6 or 7 of you there.
Yes.
What if I've asked you to assess them for full professorship? I state the words of one of the assessors from University of Joburg. He said, Prof, if you don't give this guy full prof, I'm taking Joburg. I said, no way, you're not taking. Instead of that happening, I brought that professor to Covenant University. So why was I so passionate? Why was I able to make such a case for you people before the board? Because of what I suffered. So nobody else will suffer that, not while I'm still in that. So we changed the policy, we changed everything. So some of these things, talking down on you and things like that, to the limit to which you can imbibe it. If you can't imbibe it any further, I'm sure there will be ways to seek redress. Like the example I gave, you go to a higher authority and make a complaint and see how it goes, because it can actually kill destinies, which is not appreciable.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I think that's a great one. I think the second one is Silakit from Karakara. That's one of our collaborators from Ghana. Can you give a practical experience on how to manage the bad knot when you are leading people and such person is not pulling his or her weight on all situations? If you can give example, you encounter and how you able to how you went about it, at least like what you have just said.
You can look at another example. One thing one of my mentors taught me, and this is another mentor, when I joined Covenant University in 2002 as a pioneer faculty, there were only 2 PhDs in the College of Science and Technology, myself and Professor TSCB of blessed memory. So God put very good mentors, because I wasn't in the Nigerian education system. I didn't know that you have to take your professors almost as God and things like that. Be PhD, just off time with all the professors. That's how I related to it. One thing Professor BME told me then was that academia is a carrot and stick system. So that is how you deal with such a person. I believe it's Karakara, your co-author, right?
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, wonderful model you guys are developing there. It's a carrot and stick system. Exactly. You do the right thing, you get the carrot. You do the wrong thing, you get the stick. And the stick does not even mean you start punishing or anything. Let me give an example. You are telling somebody to pull his weight to publish. It's not pulling his weight, it's not publishing. No problems. Leave him alone. It's a matter of time. By the time I was Vice-Chancellor, I came in as a lecturer too. There was somebody fomenting issues, also a lecturer too. I was already Vice-Chancellor. He was sitting before me as a lecturer one. Academia is a kind of you just move your attention away from that person to those deserving it. You don't spend your energy on such. The system will take care of that person naturally. It's a matter of time.
Okay, the system will take off it. That's a very good word. We will take one more before we continue. If you have other question, please keep them coming. Yeah, why your hands at the upside not pain you? You can go ahead and ask a question.
Good evening, sirs.
Sir.
Professor Atayero and Professor Evans, thank you for this insightful edition. I think I'm very much carried away. But just another addition to the question that Dr. Capo asked earlier on. Professor Evans, you know my experience very well. So, and yeah, you know my experience very well, and so I can attest to what Professor Atayero said. That look, mentorship-mentee relationship is a personal one, and you cannot compare 2 people. I can, like, for practical experience for everybody listening, I would be honest with you and say, if you had not been my second supervisor, I probably would have run off of my PhD program by now. The encouragement I got was from you. If I had any problem, I could pick up the phone and say, hey, I have this problem. And we could even speak in pidgin English and talk about it like 2 brothers. I never had those experiences before. And just for clarity, I've studied in Germany, and the relationship I have with my supervisor is, I don't know, I cannot just put it in. We've only seen physically in the last 5 years, like 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? We probably don't even talk so much. And if we talk, I write mails, the mails only get an answer sometime in 3 months' time or so. So but I won't go much into that. My question really is, how do we put in institutional frameworks in the university, especially in Nigeria, that can create an enabling environment for this kind of relationship between mentors and mentees to kind of flourish? Because you also said something which is very important here, which is like somebody that is not comfortable in his skin or in himself has nothing to give. You can only give what you have anyway. That's the point, really. But from my own mentee point of view, being a mentor and a mentee is a lifelong marriage relationship. And It is mutually beneficial. And like I said, somebody in Covenant University a few days ago, a group of people, I said, if for a mentor, especially a professor who is smart, you must know that your young mentee, maybe master student, PhD students, they are dealing with new ideas. And all you can do is to sit back and encourage them to flourish with those ideas, and you key into it. And I pointed, I said, look, that's Professor Evans. He's published more than 200 papers. Did he write the whole 200 papers? It is his mentee who wrote some of them. So you can understand how this is mutually beneficial to everybody. But how do we get this across to our professors, to our mentees in Nigerian University? That's my own.
Okay, okay, thank you so much, sir. I don't want to bother Prof for this. I can answer, respond quickly. Yeah, I remember when I became HOD in 2016. Thanks to Prof again for encouraging me. Because actually say I declined, but he saw what I was not seeing, which I became the youngest professor HOD in the department. Then what I saw was that we had backlog of PhD. People spending years their PhD and making no progress. So I came with this met with my PhD, the PhD coordinator. We had a meeting with them, with the colleagues in the department, and we came with a resolve. Once your supervisor send you documents, maximum of 2 weeks, you should be able to respond to that comment. So all of us agree on the board. I would say agreed. It was recorded in the minutes. Now, what I had another meeting with the PhD students, master students, and others. Okay, well, this is the rule now. Once you send anything to your supervisor, in 2 weeks, if you don't have feedback, please come to the HOD or the coordinator separately. So create a WhatsApp group for the supervisor, PhD students, master and PhD students, where they can express themselves on their only HOD and the PhD coordinator are done with them. And I do know that within that short time, we started having progress. People who started finishing PhD in 3 years, people like people like Aderemi. Why? Because we were intentional about it. So at the Covenant University, we have, I think, also PhD school, also took that up, that the PhD school, within 2 weeks, you get your comments across to your supervisor, so that to be sure that nobody is being shortchanged. Like I said, I made a vow. What you so far shouldn't replicate that evil, but what you gain, enjoy, replicate the good, and despite the evil. I think that's what we should do. And our time is always on our side. I want to say otherwise. There's no more comment, but we'll have one more. We'll come to it. Let's go to testimonial, and then we'll come back to this one. Please keep a comment. Attach yourself for testimonial now. Let's go. I think, should I share for you? Okay. All right. Can you see my screen? Yes, so we're going to the next agenda, which is testimony. And I want to just note here that we got so many testimonials, but for time, we can only take a few of them. So in case your name is not called, please pardon us in advance. It's not intentional. We just be sure that we're able to manage time. So the ones that are here are the ones that that our content manager recommended to us to use. So we seek for audience. And so over to you. Thanks so much. At that, we have, so read them out.
Thank you very much, Prof. First on our testimonial list is Mukamfizi from Rwanda. She said episode 3 of ASMN 4.0 has been the most useful lesson, as she has been able to see the importance of effective academic publishing strategies. She said the episode also emphasized the significance of selecting the right journals, understanding peer review process, and ethical consideration involved in publishing. Okay. According to her, she said, particularly, she found the discussion on how to navigate pediatric journals and ensure that research reaches reputable platforms to be invaluable. This episode reinforced how strategic choices in publishing can significantly impact the visibility and credibility of one's work in the academic community. That's from Rwanda. Thank you very much. Abigail Adelek from University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom, Nigeria said, I learned that excellence is a class. We can attain it in any sphere by diligence. This applies to writing and publishing papers. Thank you very much, Abigail Adelekun. Kolawole Fichabiyi, PCU, Ibadan, Nigeria, said, I learned about areas of academics that should attract my focus and attention. I also learned about where to concentrate my energy and resources.
Thank you. Okay.
From Daniel Omopariola, OCP Africa, Shagamu, Nigeria, I'm grateful for the valuable information and inspiring discussions. ASMN 4.0 has been a fantastic resource for my professional growth.
Thank you.
Well, that's the ultimate aim of ASMN. Patricia Ajayi from University of Ibadan. The most useful lesson I learned in episode 3 is about journal outlets to publish in. I really liked the aspect of sorting for journals to publish in. The links we have to check out was very key for me. Thanks to the organizers for putting this program together. Thank you very much, Patricia Ajayi, University of Ibadan. Olasumbo K. Jobril from Lautech, Ogbomoso, Nigeria said, I learned the importance of maintaining academic integrity, understanding the standards of scholarly publishing, and being aware of credible and ethical practices in academia. Thank you very much, Olasumbo K. Jobril. That I didn't really know while sourcing for journals to publish. According to her, the training on scaling local action into global impact through collaboration held on November 17, 2024 has opened her eye to some aspects that she didn't really know about collaborating. Thank you very much for your feedback, Damilola. And we have Temitope Worimide from Department of Accounting, Redeemers University of Nigeria. She said, I learned about a number of initiatives that can be replicated and the need to address local issues, which can eventually
Okay, from Grace Ada, it has been interesting being here. It is quite amazing. Going green means I should get on living my life without harming my neighbor or environment, not abusing things. Just like in the pledge, I will never drop that waste on the floor. The going green is a good ideology for our nation, Nigeria. If everyone goes green, it will checkmate a lot of abnormalities in the society. Thank you very much, Grace Ada from Delta State Polytechnic, Ogbashu. And Muhammad Jaffa Diaso from Burkina Faso. The most useful thing I learned during this session is that going green is going for a sustainable social entrepreneurship impact. Absolutely, you're on point, Diaso from Burkina Faso. Maria Davis from Babcock University, Ileshan Remo, Nigeria. I learned that the most important purpose of a research should be to impact the immediate and global community in such a way that their voices are heard around the globe. And Elizabeth Abiola Oke from Redeemers University, Ede, Nigeria says, I have really benefited immensely from this bootcamp. It's been an eye-opener for me and I appreciate the opportunity. And I will say this is one of the best engaging person we have on the episode 4. For every session, she has something detailed to make comment on. Aisha Dagana from Ibrahim Badamosi Babangida University, Lapai, Niger State. ASMN 4.0 in general was very insightful. I learned a lot as an early career researcher. I understand the importance of collaboration, consistency, and mastery of subject team to gain global recognition. Thank you very much, Aisha Dagana. I actually read every of your comments on the 4 episodes. And Catherine Enedu from Brigham University, Karu, Nasarawa, Nigeria. Episode 1 of ASMN 4.0 was very helpful. I learned the basics of grantsmanship and how important it is to ask for help and feedback. This makes me more confident in applying for funding. Thanks, ASMN 4.0. Thank you very much, Catherine, for the feedback as well. And Sherif Sese from Gambia College, Brekema, the Gambia. One of the most useful lessons learned from ASMN episode 1 of ASMN 4.0 is the importance of collaboration and networking in advancing personal and professional growth. The episode highlighted how leveraging collective knowledge and resources can help overcome individual limitations and foster innovation. It emphasized that through strategic partnership, professionals can enhance their skills, expand their opportunities, and contribute more effectively to their field. The concept of mutual support resonated deeply, illustrating how mentorship and collaboration are pivotal for long-term success. Thank you very much, Sherif Sase from Gambia College, Brekema, Gambia. Well, we have listened to episode 5 from Professor Atayero, and so we'll be expecting that you will send us more feedback to our email, programs@diadeq.org. And for those willing to help us actually curate good video content, do well to send us a mini video of your experience, your general experience at ASMN 4.0. All video files should also be sent to the email address on screen, programs@diadeq.org, to help us improve on subsequent series and share in your success stories.
I want to say thank you all
for making this a most remarkable experience for us. Prof,
over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Atat. Like I apologize in the beginning. In case you didn't read your comments, it's not because we got tons of them, so we could have read about 4 times 80 testimonials. You also pick some of them as advised by our content manager. But we normally have a place to share them on our website, on our social media handles. So please, if you want to seek the comment by email now, programs@diadeq.org, and we'll create and share it on our website. And also, like we said, we want to be part of your success story. And for those of us who, for time, didn't conclude our studies, we still left it open till November 30. So get it done, so that we can get it done, we can compile as well. For now, we welcome Folabit. While we go to before we go to the certificate presentation for those who met the requirement. Please, over to you. Final words of encouragement. And once again, I want to present Professor Atayero. I didn't know he went through all the recorded of session of all the past episodes. That was quite, for me, that was quite another thing to learn from. That he was quoting all from for me. That was quite. I didn't get the chance. It's quite interesting. So, Folabit, please, final remark to our wonderful participants and what you wanted to take away before we now come back to a few comments, and then we can now continue with the last one, which is a certificate position for take announcement, and then we plan to close. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Prof. And I deeply appreciate Professor Atayero's presentation. I put up my video just soaking everything in, and really deep alignment and confirmation of some of the things that we've talked about, some of the value, in fact, the value system that we believe in and we continue to work in by the grace of God. Well, congrats to folks that made it to the very end. And I really want to appreciate Professor Evans' visionary and leadership and the entire team. It's been an amazing opportunity to be part of this. I believe it was 2021 at my theater organization, Theater Ministry International. I started a similar African a scholar initiative, but it was focused on arts and artists. And for me, the reason for that is that I realized that when it comes to scholarship, funding and mentorship and all those kind of things that we've been talking about, there's so much gravitation towards science and social sciences, and we need more like that. So for me, it was really thinking about STEAM. And so when the opportunity to collaborate and partner with Professor Evans came, I took it, and I hope that we can start planning ASMN 5.0 with emphasis on STEAM. I've sent you a message privately already, because I think there's a lot here. I do hope that you have learned, and for us also, we continue to learn. A key piece around partnership is very important. I'm running a week festival at my center starting tomorrow. And again, some of the things that we're doing won't be possible without partnership. Partnership is not saying that I bring 90%, the other person doesn't do anything. It's a co-working together. And I do love what Professor said. We have to become the change we want. And there are many examples about poor mentorship, leadership, supervision. You can name them. But if we continue to recite that, we're going to keep perpetuating that. So I do encourage everyone here that we do hope that all the nuggets, the perspectives, and the things that we have shared, that we could take that and own it and run with it and become the change you want. We understand the realities of the systems that we find ourselves, but that we have the potential to create new systems where that care leadership that Prof talked about, relationality, responsibility, accountability, respect, and all of that it's deeply ingrained in our system. And it starts with the individual. And we do hope that as we work together individually, whether it's in your scholarship, in your application for funds and things like that, that gradually those things will start informing policies, like Prof mentioned, based on his experience and the policy that he was able to lead and institute, across the university, which is now being taken on in other domain. Thank you so much. It's been a great opportunity. Like rightly said, please take advantage of this platform, of the premium initiative that DIaDeRC is leading. Connect to other folks. Interdisciplinary research is really critical right now, because we want to really engage and encourage broad-minded thinking. So in your approach and all of that. So continue to connect with one another, continue to engage with us, and really appreciate the opportunity that we hope that by the virtue of this, these 5 contacts, that you can continue to connect with us, but I can take all of what you've learned in your scholarship, in your grant writing, but most importantly, in your own mindset and your value system. And finally, I would say that as we continue to thrive and move on in your work, that please be careful of what you are becoming. I did my undergrad in Nigeria, and I was asking myself many questions that, no, I think there's something different. There's something that should be different, and all of that. And I had 1 or 2 individuals who you could talk to and all of that. But deep down in my spirit, I knew that there's something. It can't be like this. It can't be like this. And as God helped us start a theater ministry, led different initiatives across 21 countries, in 21 countries across 5 continents. Encourage other people to grow and different things like that. So this is what it should be. And many times we can have the right motive of starting, whether you're in the academia, you're doing your PhD and all of that. But as life happens, like Prof said, as life happens, if we're not careful and continue to remind ourselves the why, reflect on ourselves, we're not becoming what we don't want to become. So I want to submit to you, for me, this is my own final take as I bring this closing remark to an end, is that I'm constantly asking myself every day, what am I becoming? I'm saying, Holy Spirit, opened my eyes by the revelation from your word. The people around me, the people far away, as they give me feedback as I continue to work upon myself, that I become who you really want me to become. So that when I get that grant, or whether I don't get it, whether I supervise that student, or I supervise an initiative, or I lead a center, I lead a university, or I'm at home, whatever, that at the end of the day, it's like, God, help me to become better each day. I do hope that you take all of that knowledge and then put that into your own work, so that it's not just about the metrics of the funding you have, or the papers you're able to publish, or how you rise up in the ladder. But as you see the stories and those that have been mentioned today, even those that are not here with us and they are in eternity, it's the stories of the lives that they've touched that really matter. And I hope that you can take all of that and lead that way. God's blessings. We look forward to seeing you in.
Thank you so much. The stories of life that you touch. Thank you so much. And I think I love your fire now for the next episode 5.0. Please, we're sharing slides. I want to please go to the next one now, which is certificate presentation. Before I call on our content manager to read them out, I want to apologize. I want to clarify, please, that certificate presentation is to those who met requirements, and there are two. You should have completed all. It's called certificate of completion. So each episode will give exercises. Should have done exercises, and at least scored at least half of the marks. Some people are scoring 20 over 50. Like maybe you're just doing what do you call it? You just click. No, please. It's not for the fun. It's not for the fun. It's not for the fun. It's to show that we are learning something and that we can replicate. Our joy that you become what you are. Many of us, you're able to replicate what you are doing, your own domain. That's the aim of all of this. And two, for those who are from international domain, many of them send us, somebody sent a request from Uganda and others from Rwanda that they have issue with payment. So what we do that in our team, so we waive payment option for international participants. And who are they? Those who are holding Nigeria, who are non-Nigerian passport holders. So once you have done the exercises, you don't need to pay again, so you're not getting qualified. And we also give room if in case you want to, maybe, so we'll give 1 week window after today, between now and the end of the month. Please complete them. We will issue it to you by email. And for those who will be calling out right away, we encourage you from tomorrow, start sharing them on social media and tag us. Tag us. Our hashtag is always ASMN. Hashtag ASMN and tag DIaDeRC, so we can be part of your story. Okay, on that note, I want to call on our manager, to read out. And in case there's maybe your name is not. So in case your name is not correct, you have done all the exercises, maybe it will be mistake, because it took us time to be compiling exercise 1, 2, 3, 4 for check with ASMN Premium membership. So again, we ask for your pardon, okay? But in case you want to do, please, between now and the end of the month, subscribe to Premium membership and complete the exercises. For Vice-Chancellor scholars, we will be glad to get your exercise completed, and then you have it without payment. And let's not forget, the lady that was from Asha, I think Asha Bankan, also from IBB University. Thanks so much from what you did last episode. Somebody from Zambia won the award, the most outstanding comment. Is it commentation or comment from comments? So that will go to this lady from IBB University, Asha. So we will write to you later to award you as the most engaging comments. So thanks to you if you are here with us. Otherwise, Atat, over to you to do that certificates. So once we hear the names, please let's clap for them. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Yes, first on the list is Florence Nse Nelson. Congratulations. Successfully completing ASMN 4.0. Abiola Olarinde, congratulations. Congratulations, Biola.
Okay.
Ajala Adetola Pokemi, congratulations. Igaro Amechi Endurance, congratulations. Oluwakemi DC Felix, congratulations. Muindo Esther, congratulations.
Okay.
Then Alex Magege, congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, then there's, oh, okay.
Yeah.
For now. So like I said, for others that we didn't complete, study up your assignments, and then between now and end of November, we get it done. Then I will not go to closing remark. Okay.
Sorry, but before you continue, Esther Muindo is asking a question. Will the WhatsApp group still be open for premium member to pay by end of this month?
Okay, let me go to my closing remark. Closing remark. Thank you so much, Esther. My closing remarks, I will share my screen now. Okay, so I go to my closing remark. Can you see my screen? I don't know if you can see. Yeah, can you see my screen, please?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we're almost done. We are now at we're done this. So we are the announcement and closing remarks, which is the last thing. Yes, Esther, your question, I will answer it right away. Let me go there. I have it on my slide. It's yes, here. Can you see my screen? So the premium membership will still be open for this batch till the end of the month, 30th November. So please, and there's a link. Once you go to our website, I can take you the right thing. Once you go to our website, if you click the link, okay, let me see. If you go to our website, I don't think here. So you can see. Once you go to our website, you see join the network. So when you join the network, you will see all of the needs. All you learn. Let me just go there right away. I want to show you. Okay, so join the network. Okay, so this is our website. Can you see my screen? What are you seeing? This is our website. I think I should share this screen now.
No, your slide is still on, Prof.
Okay. Yeah, so once you go to our website, you just click join the network. So if you click join the network, it will open to the screen payment, it will open a new page. This one, join the network. You see, it's open to this. No, that's not what I want to show you. Sorry, I can advert. So when you click join the network here on our website. Okay, so it will bring you here. So all that you did here, so it will still be open to November 30. Okay. And if you go to website, see these are premium profile. These are the ones that are already profiled in batch 1. So we click here. What we do is to give African scholars space in the global domain. So we profile all this batch 1, those are we did after 3.0. So for batch 2, we'll set that after the deadline. So we have their pictures, and I also link you to put the link to their their LinkedIn profile. So we give them have their brief summary, and then the LinkedIn there. The aim is that when somebody asks me, Prof, recommend somebody from your team that can work with the project, I just refer them to this page. And since they are our premium members, we have the database. I know a number of them that are already working in a number of projects. For example, there was a call from one of the international agencies in Nigeria, and so they wanted someone who is good in R for a project. They also refer to this project, and they're already making progress. So that's what we do. So for this same batch 2, once we conclude by November, and then we will do the profiling. We have to edit all the content, put the link to the website, and then put their pictures. This will also give us space on a global domain to join our for a good image, like something that I've seen, we have a Nobel laureate on our as part of our team. So that also this batch 2, once you join the ASMN Premium membership, by end of the month, we will start the profiling process, and we hope that by God's grace, by December 19 to 22, we do what we call onboardings. Like to tell you more about DIaDeRC and to tell you more what you need to benefit from. For example, some of them, they wanted to join, they wanted to register on this academia research gate. They didn't have a institutional email. So we can also make that provision from our DIaDeRC email address once that request is made. So that's what we do, is to help. Remember, our mission is to see how we can increase the upload from Africa. So that Africa is no longer reckoned as a download continent, but becoming an upload continent. So I think I've answered that question. If there's no further question, we will try to, again on our website. Let me just go back again. Once you to know what is happening part-time on our website, we encourage you just come here, click event to show you what is happening, where we're doing, and then always come to news. We have blog posts, research news, and once you come here, we have our social media handle. This is our Facebook handle, this is our Twitter, we call it Twitter handle, now X. This is our Instagram, this is our LinkedIn, this is our YouTube. So we are active on all those platforms. Follow us so that you can be getting our news. And when you go to our website too, you can click search. So when you click search, you can search. It's very interactive. Anything you want to search there, and you get it done. For example, so it's very interactive, and so follow us on our media. And in case, like you said, we're doing all of this on purpose. In case you want to be part of our success story, you also have support us. You click on it. There are many ways you can support us on our platform, our candidates there. So these are ways we can work together to build Africa. So both international transfers are out there, and also through payment gateway like Flutterwave and Paystack. Okay, so I will pause now, and let's see if there's any burning question before we go. We almost ended the meeting now. Any burning question, Peter? Thank you. So let's check. Yeah, thanks for your message. Kindly commit all the pending. Okay. Somebody the money was not called. So please, if you're not called for the certificate, it means that maybe you didn't commit all of the exercises. Please go and complete it. And if you have any question, please only reach out to us. And the WhatsApp group will be active. For those in premium, we'll have a different group for premium members, because that's where we'll do some classified information and continuous mentorship. But the one for the focus will still be active. What we'll do after that, we'll put them on we'll have the other community from 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, put them together. But for the classified one, we will put on a different, we have batch 1 group, we have batch 2 group, and batch 3 group will come out. Yeah, for me, I mentioned about 5.0. We please keep it updated. We is coming up with, normally we do 2 series in a year. So this year I've done 3.0 and 2.0. Next year by God's grace, we will do 5.0 and 6.0. And we are planning a physical event by God's grace next year. Plans are we're already working in place with DIaDeRC to support us with that. But we just keep in touch with us, and together we can, like Atayero told us, we can change the narrative, that be the best version of ourselves, and then see how we can make our best to our community. Okay, so I want to stop here. There's any, Kelechi, okay, we'll cross-check. In case you're not called, we'll cross-check. Did you subscribe? Again, we'll cross-check. Okay. Oh, great. Thanks so much. Yeah, follow me. Thanks a lot. It will be a good one. Okay. Let's see whether there's any comment from YouTube, please. Team members. Final comment. We're about to end the meeting now. Final comment. Check YouTube comment. Check one. Okay. If there's another question, we'll be glad to. Okay, what about the exercise assignment? Okay, please, we'll cross-check. If you have done it, Abiodun will cross-check. And if you also subscribe to I think we should, let me just get this in, let me settle this matter because many impact still it's important that. Let me just share this again and so this is the criteria for certificate. Okay, let me go there again, please. Where is it? There are two, yeah, these are the two criteria. One is you should have completed all the exercises as of today. So those who have done theirs for today are the ones, and then that's one condition. Two is that they have also subscribed to premium membership as of today. These are the ones that we called out. But for others who mentioned, national participants with non-Nigerian passport holders, we look at it and before the end of the month and see, and we will send to your email. And then those also subscribe to batch two of premium membership. The final deadline will be November 30. So, and they should have. So we'll see if the exercise is open. So if you miss anyone, please go and get them done before November 30. So after that, we'll end that and we'll start profiling. That will commence. So we can prepare and commence the onboarding meeting that will be held somewhere between the 19th and 22nd. We'll let them know this consign. So it's normally what will tell you more about that and how it can be part of us. That now you can be change agents. Okay, I think this one should have answered most of the questions. If there's still more questions, please feel free to write us email and reach out to us. I think our email address is programs@DIaDeRC.org, or yeah, that's our email for programs. Okay, I think programs@DIaDeRC.org. Okay, since if there's no other question, I want to say thank you so much for your time. We appreciate. So we have gone through this journey together from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. Yeah, Professor Atayero, please, final word as we go. Say the words of our fathers, the words of wisdom. Prof, are you still there? Okay, you are muted, sir. Okay, if there's no other thing, okay, Abigail, Gabriel Ghana, okay. Yes, so Gabriel Kwasiku, with this new arrangement, you will get certificates sent to you since you are from international participant, non-Nigerian passport holders. Okay. All right. Thanks so much, thanks so much. Okay. Once again, I want to appreciate. Thanks so much for your time. I think we are spending both the normal time, but I think it was worth it this final day, and it was good. Okay, we'll work on it before. Okay, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Okay, thanks so much. So I will stop the recording now, and then the next 1-2 minutes, I will end the meeting. So